Hallelujah.
Pastor asked me to talk about the love of Jesus and accepting Jesus into your life. At a very young age, I accepted Jesus. I went to a Pentecostal church, did all the yelling, the amens, everything that you're supposed to do when you're in a Pentecostal church. My salvation wasn't very secure. We had trouble in that church, and I walked away and joined a cult. And I was in that cult for 50 years. They asked me to leave, not very politely, because I believed in Jesus. I could never get that out of me from that Pentecostal experience. Jesus was there always. A little bitter when I left and tried a couple churches, got kicked out of another church because one of the fellows that comes here, Tom Bennett, and I were doing work, and we were told to quit doing work. Tom kept after me. He was my friend. And finally, I came here. I came to this church a few years ago. We walked in. Tom brought me up, introduced me to the pastor. He's sitting right here. Pastor looked at me and said, "Well, I'm having to create a new sermon. I hope you have a spiritual time." He got up after the singing, and I heard, maybe nobody else heard, Stan Hawley, and I don't know if he knew my name, but I heard that. And he began to rip me apart. What I got out of that sermon is I was sitting right there in the second row. Every time he would come running down off this stage, walking right towards me, talking about sin. What I learned from that first day, there's 91 knots per square inch on the carpet that we have. And I swore I didn't like him. For some reason, I came back. I'll never know why. Because when I left, I ran out of here. And I was never going to come back. For the next 5 sermons, I came on Sunday. For the next 5 sermons, he attacked me, tore my complete life apart. It was like the Lord was speaking to me. I was a Christian. I've known Jesus all my life. But let me explain what kind of Christian I was. Had a nice box here with a lock on it, and that's where Jesus was. And another box over here with a lock on it, and that's where God was. At convenient times, I would unlock the lock and let him come out and be around me. For 50 years, I preached throughout the state. For 50 years, I converted people to a cult, baptized them into a cult. It's a burden I carry, a cross I carry now. But I still didn't know Jesus. I got over hating the pastor and got into the area of toleration. And then I found 3 new people to hate. Bob Fairweather was right on the top of the list. Our friend Tony was there, and my brother, both Tony and my other brother Jerry, have passed away and gone on to heaven, beat me there. But I was still, had my boxes, still there. I got into some serious financial problems. Someone walked up. I was ready to lose my house, couldn't keep up my bills, going to lose the car, and had decided that I didn't want to be in this life anymore. Whatever was on the other side, that's where I was going to go. The Saturday morning, we were at men's group. Bob was running men's group then. And as I walked in, one of the dear brothers walked up, and I love him so dearly, he's gone on to be with the Lord, and shook my hand. And in my hand was $700. Enough to catch me up. Bob had a little deal that he did as in men's group, as he'd go around and everybody would say something. And my brother Truman said something that pierced my heart. And as they went around, it came to me last. I told you I was going to terminate this life. And it came to me, and I didn't want to say anything. I had had it. All my life, I had been around Christians or people who said they loved God. And in that time, several things came to me. One of the things I couldn't stand as my box Christian was the singing. Yeah, it was such a waste of time, and you're sitting among people that have off-key voices. You know, oh. And as I sat there, Cindy was leading at that time. And I sat there and I looked at her, and she wasn't looking at the crowd. She wasn't giving all the hand gestures. She was looking at heaven. And a voice came within my heart and said, she's singing to God. What a change that made in my attitude about worship service. But back to men's group, it came to me my turn. I don't know if the men remember what I said. I hope they didn't. I truly hope they didn't. But something took over my voice. My mind was saying, shut up, shut up. And I confessed. I confessed all the areas that I have. I confessed my desire for pornography. I confessed that I was going to terminate my life. I confessed that I just wasn't able to do anything. And then I met Jesus. Hallelujah. I've known about Jesus all my life. I've studied about Jesus. I did all the things that you're supposed to do as a Christian. But one thing I never had done is I never have met Jesus. And I would invite you. I would pray for you. I would ask you. Put yourself in a position that you can meet Jesus. It'll make such a difference in your life. Even then, I still had my problems. I started liking the pastor a little bit. Started listening to what he said maybe a little bit more than I did before. But my life was changed. Two of the brothers that brought me back. One's alive, Bob. Thank you. I'm sorry that I detested you. I have to also say that my friendship with Tom Bennett was bent pretty bad by him bringing me in here. But if you haven't met Jesus, if you haven't brought him into your life, if you haven't opened up your heart to him, I feel sorry for you. That's my testimony.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah.